Hello everyone, my name is Chris Ellis. Today is Thursday, the 28th of January, and I'm joined here with a special guest, Ollie. Ollie, say hi. You've been tweeting and you've been active and you've been helping us out with the Fullnode and been really excited and lots of enthusiasm. And I wanted everybody at the World Crypto Network here to meet you finally after all the suspense. So tell us what you're about. What's going on? How is the world according to Ollie?
Good, yeah. So I'm doing some programming stuff in Python and stuff.
Yeah? What are you working on?
Some Python stuff in like with Open Provenance, Steve.
Right. So yeah, that's Steve,
Yeah.
Steve Douglas, and he's come up with something called Open Provenance, which is basically using Bitcoin and blockchain technology to prove the transfer of ownership of goods and products and things like that using the blockchain. And you have actually been a co-author, if I'm right, of Python code written in Python that uses Bitcoin's blockchain to track the transfer of ownership of goods and services. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm right.
Am I hearing the rumors? The rumors true?
Yeah, I'm writing database.
Great.
Yeah, I'm
Great.
writing databases for him as well. Connect.
So I was on a private chat with you yesterday, and you were looking at some code. I don't know if you've got any code to show us, or if anything is ready to hand. But feel free
Yeah, I have one. Yeah.
to do a share screen and show us what you've been working on. Also, tell us
Okay,
how
well,
old you are, Ollie. How old are you?
13 on Friday.
Ah, 13 on
Woohoo!
Friday.
And 12.
Great. Good age.
Speaking
And
of stuff.
also, do you know what this is? This is yours.
Fullnode?
This is Fullnode. Yeah, this is your
Yeah.
Fullnode. So I made this, finished making it today. I tested it
Good.
overnight. It was running all night, and yeah, spanking new node number 26 you have, and also you get a little heat sink as well because we've been given some heat
That's cool.
sinks. So if you don't like the fan, if the fan's too noisy, just unplug it and replace it with a heat sink. So all of the nodes now will ship with heat sinks, and
I've got
so
my ant
that's
miner.
yeah,
It's noisy.
yeah, that is. Yeah, I bet it is. So you mine Bitcoin as well. How long have you been mining for?
Couple of months. I've got Antminer S3. It runs at 453 gigahashes.
Hmm. Does that is that producing Bitcoins for you?
Oh, I just want to use my dad's electric.
Yes, I bet it is.
Mm.
Well, but is it producing you Bitcoins? Are you getting some Bitcoins from the mining pool?
Yeah, I got 0.1 or something.
That's not bad.
Percent.
That's not bad. That's
Zero.
deck of Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's alright. Money for a couple of weeks. And it's alright.
Yeah, but more
Money
importantly, it
about a month or so.
gives you some Bitcoins just to play around with in terms of like your coding and your or your scripting and stuff. Especially if you're going to be create raw transaction commands, which I imagine you will be doing. Have you done any create
Yeah.
raw transactions yet?
I don't know. Not really. I've done stuff like I've done some stuff for Steve with all the. I'll show you some code in a minute with it. So I've done some database stuff. It's quite cool. Yeah, we've been working on some stuff today actually as well.
What have you been
So
working on
this is the
today?
whole thing that he's. I haven't really done much, but this is the sort of thing we did. Remember last night I did some of this as well.
Yeah.
A private chat. Uh, I installed something called MySQL database. I had to install it, and then I haven't really got much to do with it because I haven't really. I kind of had to watch tutorials and I had to install SQL workbench. So yeah, it's quite good.
Okay. And what are you going to use the SQL for?
Creating database and then connecting into them within Python.
Okay, so this will the SQL database will probably be encoding, probably storing metadata, if I understand how the protocol works for open provenance,
Yeah,
and then the hash will be generated of the data, and then that hash will be put into Bitcoin's blockchain to prove the existence of that document at that point in time. Is
yeah,
that right?
pretty clever. Quite good. Good.
Yeah, and one of the novel things that Steve has done is that he has, produced this kind of zip file that contains, a text document, and then that proves that you
Yeah,
basically expose that you own a private key, and then you transfer some coins from that key to another key,
Yep.
and then in doing so, you prove that you are the owner of that private key. It's quite a novel approach, I thought.
Yeah, I've got all the text files.
Yeah, and how are you finding it? Are you finding it a challenge to do this stuff? Is it?
It's quite easy.
Great. So
Some of it's quite easy. Some of it's hard.
Fantastic. Because one of Ollie, one of the things I want to do. Yeah, go ahead.
Pardon?
Yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, so I just said some of it's quite easy. The stuff like connecting to databases and stuff, opening text files and stuff. It's quite good.
Yeah, great. One of the things, Ollie, I want to do, part of my evil master plan, if you like, is to get you to teach, Python and some of these things that you've been learning to some of the kids that Alakanani is looking after out in Botswana. So she has a center that she wants to set up called Satoshi Center, and they want to be able to teach people about Bitcoin. And I would really love it if you and I and Steve and anybody else could create some videos that show people, because when we start sending out the full nodes to Botswana next month, in fact in about a week's time or so, Alakanani will have an internet connection that we've already raised the money for. The link is in the description below at startjoin.com/protip2, and we've already raised her the money for an internet connection that will last her a year. She will get a couple of full nodes.
Last night as well.
Yeah, and she'll get a couple of full nodes, and what that will help her to do is to run the code that you're writing. She'll be able to download the code that you've written, and she'll be able to run it on her full node. And the beauty of it is that everyone is working on the same playing field. Doesn't matter whether you're in a country like the UK or Botswana, Uganda, doesn't matter. Everyone plays by the same rules. Everyone's running the same, code. No one gets to cheat. No, we can all see what everyone's on a level playing field. So that's what I think is quite nice about it. I also like the fact that it's what's known as participatory design, and participatory design is like when, like you yourself, you end up becoming. I want you to be a leader here. I want you to become a teacher. I don't want this to be like, that the adults teach the children. I want it to be everyone teaching one another, and I think that could be really inspirational, particularly as you seem very good. You seem very talented at what you do. I think there's an opportunity, because one thing I can sort of share with you is somebody I used to lecture. I used to be a lecturer at a university, and I have never learned so much than when I was teaching. And I think one of the best things we can do to help young people learn is to actually have them become teachers themselves. And once you've learned something that someone else needs to know, you can now be a teacher to that person, and you can impart knowledge to them.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah?
I'm still learning myself as well, so it's quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Alakanani. She's the Bitcoin lady.
Yes, she is. Yeah, she is. You need to quit, either quit. Ollie, you just need to quit your screen sharing, because at the moment you're sharing my face back at me. It's very disconcerting.
No, I know. I was just watching it.
Yeah. So okay. So Alakanani can't be with us tonight because I don't think she's got her internet set up yet. We still need to get her the money that's been raised, which we'll get in a week's time. So once that money comes through from StartJoin, we'll send her that, and she'll be able to join us. And it would be great if you could be here with us and show us, because by that time you'll have produced some more code, and we'll be able to run it on some of the Pis. I guess I can demonstrate the next generation one. I don't know that this is definitely going to be a product I will be able to offer, because I've been contacting the manufacturers of these devices, but this is it. Is it switched on? Yeah, switched on. I don't know if it's going to work. It's running off a battery. There you go. So this is a full node. It's got more memory. It's got 32 gigabytes internal and 128 gigabyte external, and it's also got with it a nice mobile keyboard as well. So you can run it anywhere you are, and it's got a Wi-Fi dongle, and you can see that there. So it's loading up, and it's got a little screen on there. So I might write a little bit of code that can show you the price of Bitcoin and show you, which block it's on and all that stuff. Because the problem with the Raspberry Pis at the
You know,
moment is that you have to plug them into a TV in order to, you know, a screen, and not everyone has that. So it would be a good little offering. What do you think?
it's good. I mean, I can help you with the code, maybe some of the stuff.
Yep. Well, it's all you know. The great thing is that it's all on GitHub, so anyone, you know, no one's in charge, or to put it another way, everyone is. So anyone is free to send in some code on the GitHub. If you've got like a bash scripts, like we've got Alex and we've got some other people, I forget everybody's name now, but some people have been sending in some bash scripts for the Fullnode to help in, you know, shutting down or to automatically update Bitcoin, you know, all of these kinds of things. So get it to run over Tor, for example. We've had some, Steve has already submitted some code for that. So yeah, it really is, you know, grassroots, bottom up, just, you know, people helping one another to build this thing themselves organically, rather than, you know, just some company coming along and saying, okay, this is how it's going to be done, and this is how a full node should work. I want everyone to get involved and be a leader.
Yeah, it's good. With Peter Todd, he's on GitHub, isn't he, with the Bitcoin?
He is, yeah. And have you been using his library as well?
I've installed it and stuff, but I kind of got an error when I don't know what should I import. I don't know where I would import stuff. I need to maybe talk to him or something.
Okay. So you did import it, but you haven't been able to use it just yet.
Yeah, I don't know what I would import. I don't know where I'd import or something. I don't know what exactly I would import, because I don't know what I would use it for in a way.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what then. Probably what we'll do is we'll put it on your full node at some point, so that you can use it, because what you need to do is you need to plug in his library into your JSON RPC that's running in your full node. So when you've got the daemon running, like right now, I've got, if I do, I don't know if it's actually showing up at the moment, but it's at the moment it's loading up Bitcoin, right, in the processes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's actually.
That's cool.
No, it hasn't appeared yet. Let me just do.
That's a super full node.
Yeah, this is the super node. Yeah, so it's the one with more memory and stuff. Let me just do. The only problem with this keyboard is it's a little bit like using a mobile phone, so it's a different type of experience than using. So I have to kind of go, okay, get info. So if I do the get info, yeah. So at the moment it's just verifying blocks. It takes a little bit of time, but what happens is once you've got the daemon running, you're then able to access the blockchain via the JSON RPC, and I believe that the library that Peter's created then plugs in. So in the config file inside of the Bitcoin folder, you've got bitcoin.conf. You load that up into a text editor like Nano, and then you can set the JSON RPC username and password. And then in the library, you'll need to put that username and password in so that it can put in calls and requests. And then you've basically got the blockchain as a blob of data, and you can start requesting things. You can start asking it for UTXOs on certain addresses, unspent outputs. You can, because one of the fundamental things about the blockchain is it doesn't actually store balances. It just stores claims. It just stores transfer of ownership of particular coins. It doesn't store balances. So in order to derive balances, we have to see what's not been spent by a given address, and that means going through the whole history and working out, okay, you know, this address here owns this because we've looked through the entire history and this is how much it's ended up with. So that all has to be done at a second layer, you know, using some of these libraries that we've got, you know, and then hopefully you can build some cool stuff on top of that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find a file actually. I found the file now. Yeah, it's about opening files. As I wrote it for the Open Provenance. It's I'm opening a certain file, a text file that has a bunch of key data, like PGP keys of then there's Bitcoin addresses in it. So there's one of them with Bitcoin addresses, another one that isn't. You have to find the Bitcoin address and enter, like, if something equals to yes, then you enter the Bitcoin address. I'll show you the code in a minute.
Okay, so so it sounds like you're using regular expressions to find the Bitcoin address.
Regular expression. This one here, a regular expression. No, regular
expression. Okay. Yep.
So then
Okay.
the file equals declaration.txt. That's the file
Yeah.
txt file. Then file equals open file name, which is this file name here. It's a
hmm
variable, isn't it? File name.
hmm
File name would be the variable. And then text is another variable equals the file name dot read, because you're reading the file name there. And then you're splitting the line down to true, equal to true. And yeah, it's quite good. I'm not sure if this. We actually tried working on it. I'm not sure if this regular expression does work, because I remember he had edited it. Yeah, there we go. We got an error there. So it's
You
another.
you
It's
can
another
take it. You
file.
can actually take it from the protip code because protip uses regular expressions. If you want to find out how to do that, so just check the protip GitHub repo, and it'll be in
Yeah,
there.
there's actually loads of different files like yeah. There's declaration. That's the file, and there's different addresses. It's quite good. He sent me some stuff. It's good. I'm gonna try and
Oh,
find that text file.
and what are your ambitions, Ollie? Like, what are your longer term ambitions? Like after this, what sort of things are interesting to you? What gets you motivated and
Probably working with you actually.
what do you? Well, yeah, I'd love that very much, and we're doing that already, so that's all great. But what sort of, do you have any ideas about what you want to do in the future?
Yeah, I'll probably start. I don't know. I'm gonna do some. I'll do programming stuff when I'm older. Probably do it for. I don't know. I don't know who I'm gonna work for when I'm older. I'll work with you when I'm older maybe, and some other people. With people that are related to people that when I do, because I'm working with Open Providence, aren't I? And you, other
Mm,
people might realise who I am and might start working with them. But I don't know. I will do Python stuff when I'm older.
yeah.
Mm.
But what do you want to build? Is there anything you have in mind? Is there any like grand schemes or?
Oh yeah. What do you mean, like creating apps maybe or something?
Yeah, yeah,
Do something like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do
I
you
don't
have
know.
any
I might. I'll
ideas?
probably work on databases, maybe.
hmm
I don't know. I might do web design in Molder if I maybe some web stuff.
I think the landscape is going to be very different in a few years' time in the
Yeah,
way that the web is displayed because a lot of it's moving over to mobile now, and the browser is by far the most popular application in the
yeah.
world. I mean, just really is.
So
And
to get into
that's
app stuff.
yeah, like well, HTML5, and JavaScript. I've talked to you about that before. Learning Node.js, which is
Yeah.
server-side JavaScript, would be very, I think, helpful for you. Um,
I
but
heard um, yeah. Steve said Node.js is actually going out now. I thought he said it's kind of like not available. Well, it's available still, but you said it's not really. Is it a language that I should learn maybe?
yeah, yeah. Still, I don't know if it's going out. I mean, I'm not sure what the context of the conversation was. I mean, there was a split recently in like the code base, but I think that was resolved. No, Node.js is pretty popular. It's got a good package manager. It's got a good community behind it. I don't think it's going anywhere. I mean, the advantage with JavaScript is that it runs on every device on the planet pretty much because it runs in every browser even though it's not the most elegant of programming languages, and a lot of developers complain about its fairly trivial issues. The fact is, it's incredibly popular, and as a result, it's going to be a bit like PHP was, where it just ends up becoming the lingua franca, which means the language that everyone speaks, even though it's not the perfect language. It just ends up becoming the one that everyone uses. So I think it would definitely be worth you learning JavaScript in any case because, of course, it works on the client side as well as on the server, so there's no downside to you learning it.
Yeah. In Python, I don't just do like programming stuff. I do singing as well. I do
Oh,
singing
yeah,
stuff.
you're a musician.
Yeah, I don't play an instrument. I mean, but I do some piano stuff as well. But yeah, but I do singing stuff as well and other stuff. Yeah, it's good. I don't just learn that. I do like I'm learning about silver, gold, and all that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's
Yeah, it'd be good.
fantastic. Yeah,
It's funny.
that's great. That's great. Right. What else is on the agenda for today? What else do we want to talk about?
Let's talk about the crowdfund.
Let's talk about the crowdfund next. Okay, so you've been very sweet, very lovely, and it sounds like you're working on something. Do you want to tell us all about it? Go ahead.
Yeah, Janine, do you want to talk about it as well?
Oh yeah, we should introduce my girlfriend,
Yeah.
Janine. Janine, you there?
Yeah.
I can come on and talk about it, but since it was your idea, you should probably introduce it.
All right. Yeah. So crowdfund. I'm doing a crowdfund for Chris for like private doctors and stuff because of the NHS is the. You said you're trying to get your results as well, weren't you, and everything. They're gonna take ages, aren't they? So.
Yeah. So maybe I should say what the issue is. So I suffer from chronic migraines and tinnitus and hyperacusis. I've had it since June, and the NHS obviously have been very slow in recognising my concerns, and I have to wait 3 months between appointments, and I'm in a lot of pain. And in order for me to be able to do these videos, I have to take quite strong painkillers, basically, that are not good for my body longer term. So I have been told that after about a year of taking these painkillers, they will stop having an effect, and I will probably get a lot worse because my body will go into withdrawal. And so I'm desperately now trying to avoid that. Now, it looks to you, on the outside, I look okay, but actually the truth is that when this camera goes off, I'm not okay. And I will feel very tired. I'm in pain right now, actually, as I talk. My voice actually makes my head hurt, and I have a pain in the left side of my head and down the left side of my face. And it is not entirely clear what's causing this. We have had several scans. I've had a CT scan the other day, finally, after a year, 10 months of asking. And so eventually the NHS did agree. I have got my results, and I'm going to upload those to Dropbox or somewhere, and then any doctor that wants to can then help me and investigate it, because I'm in a lot of pain and I'm not able to do the things that I used to be able to do. I'm not on air as much anymore, and I would like to do more. I can still do the full nodes. In fact, the full nodes have really helped me because I've been able to focus on something, and it's taken my mind off the pain. But yeah, being in pain 24 hours a day is no fun, and so yeah, any kind of help with that, I really appreciate, Ollie, what you're doing, and it's very touching. So,
Thanks.
where do you tell us more about it?
Well, I got the PDF file here, quite a Indiegogo thing. So this is Janine wrote this actually. Janine. So she wrote the title. Is there?
Cool.
Crowdfund for Chris, tinnitus treatment. And the goal's £500 in demand, so no deadline, so we go over it, I hope. And we got to introduce himself and explain his condition, which is what you just done there. But yeah. So the next thing we have the location and the medical. So I'll probably actually edit some of the stuff and actually rewrite it when I do put it up tonight or tomorrow. Because you're still gonna have to make the video on you and send it to me.
Yeah. Or we can cut something out from this video, or I can do it again.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking actually. Yeah. So then, yeah, about what I didn't know how long it was. June 2015. I thought it was actually recently, but yeah. Yeah, I got the what it is. Like you saying, you work for $3 an hour, and app. I didn't know it was an app called Pro Tip, but yeah, it's quite cool. And then link includes Pro Tip. Yeah, I'll put links there. And then next thing is the donation levels. 10 grand. That's cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that I need that much, but I mean, look, I think what you're doing, Ollie, is amazing. I mean, really, it's very inspiring, and I'm really grateful, because the thing is that I'm very good at helping other people. I'm just not very good at helping myself, and so it's very, very touching that you would do this for me, considering that you don't really know me very well. How did you find out about the World Crypto Network, by the way? How did you hear about us? And
first of all, I saw you on the Kaiser show.
Oh yeah, the Kaiser report.
Yeah. The second thing was then I searched him on Twitter. My dad actually told you. My dad actually told you. He said, yeah, tell you. He told me, oh yeah, he's on the Max Kaiser show. He's a very interesting person. You should look him up on Twitter and stuff. So that was quite cool. And then I saw it on the Max Kaiser show at Mr. Chris Ellis. So that was quite cool.
Oh, cool.
And then yeah, and then I looked on. Then I saw links like the World Crypto Network as well.
Yeah, wicked. All right, well that's great. That's good that that's happened, and I'm glad that we've met. Very glad that actually that's happened that way. And Max has been super supportive to us as well. We've been continued to talk, and the community at StartJoin has been really supportive of our project, and I think he's going to be helping us out some more in the future. So I'm glad that's happened. And actually, funnily enough, Janine and I met because of the video that I did with Tatiana Moroz. So it's kind of interesting the way we're all making friends and we're all meeting each other via these live streams and these various platforms. I think the internet is a great way for us to meet, you know, for people to meet one another who share their values, share common values, because there's nothing more disheartening in life than being surrounded by people that don't share the same values as you. And I think the internet is just a very good way of bringing people together. So I think it's great.
Because when I was at school, I was the only one who kind of, I didn't really do programming in school. I've been homeschooled since year 7, which is, I'm in year 8 now, it's probably about 2 years. And I got into programming stuff as well because of my dad's friend, who I met today. It's quite cool, yeah, about everything. And then I got into programming, now I met you, and all the people, good people around. We have Janine, we've got Mad Bitcoins, we've got you. It's good people, good intelligent people. It's good we have people like that.
Well, yeah, and the philosophy that we abide by is that, you know, if you have information that someone else needs, you should give it to them, you know, without condition. It's not about, you know, holding back that knowledge. And, you know, I'm not in the business of trying to manipulate people or try to get them, you know, selectively giving them information to try and steer them in a direction that favors me or something like this. You know, I want to inspire a generation of people that can be confident, independent thinkers for themselves, you know, without having to rely on you know. And you know, I don't want to bash the education system, but I've said it before, bears repeating, that the underlying assumption of the education system at the moment is that the world is knowable, that the examiner knows all the answers, and if only you get the right ones, you'll get your tickets, you'll get your little tokens, and you'll be able to cash them out at the university and then cash them out at a job somewhere. And the fact is, life isn't like that. The world is a very large and unfathomable place. It's constantly surprising us. The universe keeps its secrets very close to itself and does not reveal it. It favors privacy by default. And we have to work hard at understanding it. And you know, as H.G. Wells said, civilization is a race between education and catastrophe. And you have to constantly be learning, or otherwise you're going to fall behind. And so, yeah, I think that inspiring a generation of people to learn for themselves and think independently and confidently for themselves is a very important goal of mine, and this channel in particular.
Funny because in university you only get taught what they want to teach you. So me, I learn all the stuff. It's good. I'm learning the stuff I want to learn in university and school. They're like teaching kids in school like coding, but it's not. They're not really teaching coding. They're teaching the basics of Bash. I mean, not Bash. In what is it called? Scratch. Because I actually have my friends when I went to school. I know they start doing programming. Got a couple of coder friends who are kids, but they're good. But they learn from themselves as well as school, and they start teaching themselves Python. And I had a good idea actually once. I was going to start a coding school, teaching kids code and stuff. That, like you said, you wanted me to teach the other kids in Botswana.
Yeah.
You said a minute ago.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You learn a lot because when you become a teacher, you become responsible for your knowledge. Anyone can consume. You have to remember as well, Ollie, that learning has a risk attached to it, which is that you can't unlearn things that you've learned. So once you've learned something, that's it, you know it. You can't voluntarily just forget it. And the thing is that when you become a teacher, you become responsible for that knowledge, which puts pressure on you then to verify that, well, is this true? Am I sure? And being able to put what you think you know at risk of being wrong is a valuable part of intelligence, because the most intelligent people I ever met, they were people that knew how to ask questions, good, hard questions. They didn't necessarily have all the answers, but they always knew the way of steering the discourse, the conversation in such a way that could guide it towards the truth, because the only thing that really stands in the way of truth is time. And so sometimes the reason we don't always arrive at consensus and all of these contentious issues that we're having at the moment in Bitcoin isn't so much because we've got engineering challenges. Actually, the engineering is pretty straightforward. The real issue is getting through a lot of the trickier issues. The most damaging thing in any debate is somebody with a little bit of knowledge who's able to sound convincing enough to kind of derail the conversation and take us in a direction that is not important and not relevant to the issue at hand. And I think that's what's been happening recently in the block size debate. You had a few people who had a little bit of knowledge, who could sound convincing on the face of things. They look like they know what they're talking about. But actually, when you drill down into their arguments, you find that the fundamental layer is just broken. There's nothing really holding it up. But with people like you and other people that watch this show, we've got some very loyal followers here on the World Crypto Network. Hopefully we can win out with the truth, and we can never feel like we've ever settled on the final answer. We can keep moving forward and keep advancing human knowledge. That's the goal.
Yeah. We should talk. We should get Janine in a minute talking about.
Yeah, Janine, speak. Let's just hear your voice. Hello.
What do you want me to talk about?
Anything. All the things that you talk about.
Well, I just. Oh, there's echo somewhere.
Let me turn off my mic.
You helped me a lot about the crowdfund.
Yeah, you've been helping Ollie out a lot on the back.
Well, I can't screen share, so it'd be better if someone else talked about the GitHub, because I can't bring it up.
I can screen share, but you can talk. I'll get the GitHub page up. Yeah, I already have it up. Here we go.
Yeah, so when Ollie came up with the idea for the crowdfund, I just wanted to, because my GitHub has been empty at this point, so I wanted to make a Git repo to kind of cover the crowdfund, because I thought it'd be interesting to do a mix of, like, it's coding because it's time stamping every time someone makes a change to it, and then it's also journalism because it's covering a story, but it's a live story, and then it's also a collaborative community forum. So I just wanted to create a Git repo to cover the crowdfund that we're going to do, because I thought that might be valuable for people visiting it, because if they have any questions or they want to see how the crowdfund evolved, or where we got the information or who found the information, then they can just go to the Git repo and see all the changes. And then the reason I like it is because when you make a crowdfund page and you change the page, it's a static page, so you only see what the live version is. You don't see all the changes behind it. You don't know what they added. You don't know the history of it. So I wanted to have it that anyone could basically go back in time and see all of the updates at the time that they were made.
Yeah, that's great. So that's transparent journalism, open source journalism is what you're talking about, Janine, and also you're one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever met on the topic of things like WikiLeaks and a lot of the things that have been going on, in that community in the last few years, and that's very commendable. And I think you should get out there more. You should speak more. Really, it's good. You've got a Twitter. You're very active on Twitter. But I think it would be really good as well if you had videos, and you don't necessarily have to come on with your face, and you may be more comfortable with voice only. But hey, there's a big market in podcasting. You could get a podcast. You could start talking about a lot of this stuff. Especially now we've got global leaks, secure drop. We're planning on getting secure drop working on one of these full nodes as well for journalists, so that pretty much anyone now will be able to set up their own WikiLeaks. They can receive encrypted, cables from anybody in the world, secure, end-to-end encrypted, and that's a very powerful thing. It keeps corporations accountable, it keeps government accountable, and that scares them, and that's good. I want them to be afraid. They should be afraid, as Julian Assange says. You want anonymity for the weak, you want transparency for the strong, and that's what I think a lot of what you're working on is all about, really.
They're only speaking the truth anyway.
Yeah, you might want to be careful bringing up WikiLeaks because this is Ollie's first live stream and you don't want to get it flagged.
I know about WikiLeaks.
Yeah,
What?
I know.
What, you think we're not being flagged already? Come on.
I know, but don't make the association worse. Okay. But anyway, the last thing I wanted to say. Yeah, the last thing I wanted to say is that we can probably put the link to the GitHub repo in the video description, but
Sure.
I do want people to go and read it and visit it because at some point I want to add more people collaborating on it so that I'm not the only one editing it and making commits because then it looks like a really one-sided story. So if anyone would be interested in being a collaborator, they can contact me or you or
Well, they can also just go to the Git repo and fork it, and then they can put a pull request in, or you can just give them permission and they can edit it directly as well.
That's how I got because I made the repo, but then I wanted Ollie to make his own edit for his introduction in it, so he had to figure out how to make a pull request, and we got it. So
there's a learning curve. Yeah, there's a learning curve.
This is it. Janine, you're more than a chief editor anyway in this whole thing.
Yeah, let her understate herself if she wants to. she's very modest, is Janine. Let her have her modesty if she wants her modesty. But yeah, she's the architect. She's a lot more than a chief editor, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Definitely. So look. This has been a great introduction. Are there any final thoughts that we want to leave the 15, 16 people that are watching this? And probably more as the week goes on. For some reason. Oh, no, I think it... Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, it might be. Yeah, I noticed it was down a little bit earlier as well. Okay, but never mind that. What are our final thoughts for this video?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Keep on coding. Keep on building. You didn't raise millions of dollars, did you, Ollie? You just did it. You just took action. You shipped. You coded. You shipped, and you delivered. And that's what it's about.
Yeah, I think that with the. Yeah, it's funny when he said to me, "Coders aren't cheap." To Steve Douglas, he said to me,
"Coders are what?"
Funny, it was a joke.
Coders aren't cheap.
For a joke.
No, that's true. They're not. Coding is very hard.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, with people like you and them, I wouldn't try and charge you anything because you could. I mean, even you're not trying to do it for money or anything. You're just doing it for an art project as well as teaching people.
Yeah. Well, it's a different kind of profit. You know, the word profit just means progress. It doesn't have to be financial profit. It can be, you know, impact that you want to make. It could be that you want to help some people. And the thing about, being selfish is in order for you to get your needs met, you need other people to get their needs met too. And so it's in your rational interest to help other people get what they want so that you can get what you want. And it's as simple as that, just rational self-interest. So, yeah, you know, you're delivering, you're doing things, you're taking action, and you're going to inspire other people to do the same thing. And in that sense, your work will live on forever because every time you teach somebody, that teaching never ends, right? You've inspired one person that goes on to inspire another person that goes on to inspire another person. Yeah, that's right. And that's what you're doing. You're already doing it just by being on this video, by showing us the work that you're doing, co-authoring with Steve. That's great stuff, Ollie. You're already, you know, head, shoulders, knees and toes above a lot of other people in your generation and in my generation, frankly, that in this industry that mostly they're just talking, you know, they're just saying, you know, things they'd like to do and money they've raised for projects that haven't really.
They're not actually doing it.
They're not actually doing it, no. And that's much harder. The hardest part is starting, always has been. But a good start is half the way there.
My youngest person.
Say again?
Youngest person in this World Crypto. My youngest person in the World Crypto Network.
You are the youngest person in the World Crypto Network right now. Well, Shem has a baby. He's just recently had a baby. The baby might beat you. The baby did make an appearance the other day. But he's kind of cheating because he kind of smuggled the baby into the camera. and sort of got it to make a little cameo appearance.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah. Look, it's brilliant, and I think if there's any final thought I'd like to add, it's that you need to be your own hero. Don't wait for somebody else. Don't have idols. Don't idolize anyone. Don't try to make out that somebody else has got to be the one to do all the work. You've got to do the work that nobody else wants to do. You go first. Go first. Be your own hero. Be the person you want to be remembered as. And those are my final thoughts. But listen, you're welcome back anytime. You're welcome on air with us anytime you want. You're in the Slack channel. You're making friends. You're speaking to Alakanani. You're speaking to Mad Bitcoin. Yeah.
I want a good idea actually. I was going to start a channel in the World Crypto Network called Programming and teach everyone programming in the World Crypto Network. Teach them.
Yeah, it's great. Well, probably Ollie, what we should do actually is create a Gitter account. You know what Gitter is? Have you seen Gitter yet? It's like Slack, but it's open, and you can connect it to Git repos. So why don't we in the next week set the goal to help you learn GitHub, so that you can be a bit more comfortable with it, because Git is very important in this whole process. Git is the tool that programmers use to collaborate, and programming now is a community endeavor, right? The way we code is by helping one another, because it's hard work, and so we need a community. And so why don't we try to get your programming channel off the Slack channel and into a Gitter channel? Gitter is just an open source version of Slack. It's a little chat room, but it's public. And then that way, all of your work and all your teaching will be public, and anyone can see it. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah. How did you first of all get into the World Crypto Night, making your show, Chris Before Coffee?
Oh yeah, sure. Well, it was originally created by Mad Bitcoins. He's an excellent guy, one of my best friends, one of the best friends I've ever had actually. And I was in Washington D.C. with him and Christoph and Megan and Will and everyone, and he just said, you need to come up with a show, and he came up with the concept, and he came up with the name, and said, okay, it's going to be, because he noticed that I have to have my coffee in the morning in order for me to function. It's one of my bad habits. Don't copy that habit. But I needed coffee in the morning, and so he said we should do Chris Before Coffee, where we film you in a groggy kind of sleepy mode, and then it caught on. Lots of people watched it, but then I got a bit ill and stuff, and I couldn't commit to it anymore, and so I've been doing obviously impromptu stuff like this. Sorry?
Coffee's bad. Coffee's bad. I'm saying it's bad for you.
What's bad?
Coffee's bad for you,
coffee's bad for me. Yeah, probably is. I drink tea now. I drink decaffeinated tea, sort of red bush tea, and I drink pu'er tea, which is low in caffeine. So yeah, I've replaced the coffee now. But yeah, so look, I think the goal we've got for this week is to get you to be more comfortable with GitHub. Then we're going to get you a channel on Gitter where you can be public and you can start demonstrating and showcasing your work, and then you can help the people out in these communities where we'll be sending the full nodes in a couple of weeks, and you can actually get your code out there running in these countries. Rock Barcelos, I don't know if you met Rock yet. He's from Brazil. You met Sal Mitra.
Rock Barcelos, he's helping me out he's helping me out the whole project.
Great. Yeah, fantastic. Well, yeah, he's in Brazil. We've got Sal Mitra, he's in Delhi in India. We've got SG Bitcoins in Nepal. So we've got a global community, and we've got a new guy, Ron, who's just joined us from Uganda, and we've got a couple of guys, also a guy from Durban, I've yet to properly be introduced, and a guy from Pretoria as well in South Africa. So we've got quite a few contacts now, and sort of distributed. Say again?
There's not many people from Britain, really. There's not many British people.
We do actually, because we've obviously got you and me, but also we've got the London Bitcoin meetup, which I'm one of the co-founders of. So we do have those guys. The only problem is, and I've said this before, to be quite frank, I'm not a big fan of the London Bitcoin scene. I find it very kind of corporate-y, startup-y, kind of it's sort of connected to the banks a lot, and I don't have that people, bankers are people too, but these are not poor people. These aren't people that are in most need of our help. Let's put it that way, right? They've got a lot of money already. They don't need more work. So yeah, I'm happy to talk to people and have people come on and represent. But I would like to focus my efforts on the areas where there is most potential for growth, and the most potential for growth are some of the countries I've mentioned, like Uganda, Botswana, Brazil, and India and Nepal and places like that.
You can help them with the internet.
Well, yeah, but I mean, why invest in a middle class, in a burgeoning middle class, when you could be investing in the regions where there is most potential for innovation and growth, right? You invest in those areas, because once you lift everybody up to a base level standard, above a breadline, you give them the ability to produce for themselves. Right, what we're doing is we're sowing seeds. We're not going like colonialists, like the old British Empire hundreds of years ago, where we dictate and we say, right, you've got to do things our way. What we're doing is we're giving them some basic code, we're giving them some basic level foundation, and we're saying, you right on top of it. Like, you do what you want to do, and you can collaborate with Ollie and Steve and Chris and whoever else, and if you need help, we'll be here for you and we can help you. But actually, it's not for us to tell you how to implement Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just a fundamental, very basic, parsimonious. Parsimonious means it's very simple, very elegant, and it just is a bedrock. But on top of that bedrock, you can build apps, you can build lots of layers. And what I want to try and avoid, as part of my legacy, if you like, is to help these people build these tools for themselves, independently of foreign extraneous, oversight. We can help them, we can join a community, but we're not here to dictate or tell them what to do with code. We're really just here to facilitate and help them understand what the code is capable of doing, and you can write some code and let them run it and see how it works for themselves.
Yeah, you want to help everyone. You just want to help everyone with everything.
Yeah, I enjoy helping people. When you help people, you help yourself. When you help yourself,
it's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is. But when you help yourself, it disappears in an instant. When you help other people, it lasts forever. Like, when you help somebody else, that never dies. And that's really, that's what I live for. I live for that.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah, you own it. I mean, it's not selfless. Like, you still own it, right? You get to wear it. You get to own that process. But it's, at the same time, it's not quite the same as, eating a bar of chocolate or something that's just for you. Every now and again, of course, we need to indulge ourselves, otherwise we go mad. But it's all about balance, and it's people that know how to strike that balance are few and far between. And so anyway, I think we found a good lineup of people on this YouTube channel. We've got some good people. It's been great to have you and your input on board.
Another thing with me, if I just learned Python and didn't teach it with anyone else, it wouldn't be as good. But if I'm teaching people in other countries, it's nice, good, and I get to help people. Yeah.
Exactly. And what you'll find is that you'll get much better at learning, because, like I said, you'll be more responsible for your knowledge. It's not just you consume the knowledge. Now you own the knowledge, and you're responsible for that knowledge. And when you impart that to other people, it grows, it strengthens in you. The neural pathways in your brain will grow stronger and stronger every time you reiterate and you teach people and you tell people, what is this capable of, what can it do, an implementation. And so that's what we want.
That toolbar is helping now. That toolbar is working.
Oh, the toolbar's working, finally. Well, look, Ollie,
choose logo.
We should call it a day for now, because it's quite late.
Yeah.
And but thank you so much for your work with Janine, and it's very humbling that you created this crowdfund for me, and I'm very happy with that. And I'm not very good at asking for help or money, so thank you for helping me, and thank you for being around.
I'll try and get the crowdfund up by tomorrow as well.
Yeah, and so we'll be meeting potentially on your birthday on Friday. I'm in North London. Let's not disclose our addresses on air, because that would be an operational security nightmare. We will get to meet. This is your Fullnode. You will be receiving this from me along with a T-shirt as well. And so you'll get that, and then let's just communicate and off air, and we can do another show whenever you feel like it. Really, just ping me. As long as I'm feeling up to it. I just need to feel up to it. But as long as I'm feeling up to it, give me a shout, and you're welcome to start a show on the World Crypto Network anytime you like.
That'd be nice. All right.
All right. Okay. So everyone say goodbye.
See ya.
See you,
everyone.
and Janine. Thank you for coming on. You there?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes,
for
I'm
being
here.
Thank you for your help as well. You've been helping out Ollie, and you created the GitHub,
Thank you,
and I
Chris,
really
for being
appreciate
here.
that.
Good person.
You're very welcome. Thank you for letting me help. All right, it's been a
Yeah,
pleasure. All right, see you
Yeah.
later, everybody. Thank you for joining us. You can check out more at World Crypto Net on Twitter. I'm at Mr. Chris Ellis, and you can check my stream for the official coder Ollie. He's in my tweet stream right now, so check him out, follow him, because he's a really awesome dude. Speak to you later. Bye bye.